We got everything we need right here. Wine and burning chemistry. You and me alone. You and me alone. Inside of our embassy. Everything we need's right here. Make me sing along, sing along. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. Oh, watch me dancing in the colors, lightning blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. We got everything we need, right? Watch me dancing in the colors, lightning blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. Yeah, we got everything we need right here. We got everything, everything we Moonlight on your naked skin. Summer's blind us to giving. Where you wanna go? Where you wanna go? Stars align onto your face. Pretty sweet, your sour taste. Make me sing along, sing along. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. Oh, watch me dancing in the colors, lightning blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. We got everything we need, right? Watch me dancing in the colors, lightning blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. Yeah, we got everything we need right here. We got everything, everything we Sharing all your deepest dreams, wonder what they really mean, yeah. In the empty bottle lies all the answers. Write down all your memories, feel the things you wanna feel, yeah. In the empty bottle lies all the answers. Oh, watch me dancing in the colors, lightning blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. We got everything we need, right? Watch me dancing in the colors, lightning blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. Yeah, we got everything we need right here. We got everything, everything.
Hello everybody, how are we? Happy Saturday. Whew. How's everyone this afternoon, evening, whatever time it is where you are? It's evening in the UK right now. Happy Mother's Day tomorrow for all my mothers in the UK if you're watching. Alrighty. All right, today's going to be a pretty quick one. We'll try and keep it to half an hour. I've had a very, 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 very long day. But I just had to come on because I want to talk to you guys. And I love talking to you guys. And it's been a pretty jam-packed week. Like none of us have rested. I feel like I've been on this tour myself. Yeah, Joyce, the media will spend the next week trying to clean up the disaster tour. But I mean, the UK press can do all they want, but the international press has had their say. And as far as the international press is concerned, and many of the rest of us are concerned. Um, this is how we feel. Yeah. So they can do all they want to cover things up, but it is what it is. It is what it is, and there's nothing that they can do. So, welcome everybody to the chat. Sorry, I had to move things back a little bit because, as usual, there's issues, but don't worry. Hopefully, by the end of next week, they'll all be resolved. I just saw someone say, Was I fighting with Dan Wooten? No, it was Richard Palmer. Wasn't really much of a fight, but I was a bit surprised that he responded to me. I think he saw that my tweet was getting quite a lot of likes, and so he tried to clap back and be clever, but he's really not clever. And thank you so much if you're joining us. Please do thumbs up, and yeah, let's get into things. Yes, use the queue. The world already seen what went down, and there's nothing that they can do to reverse it now. And so the question of today's podcast, I guess, is where does the royal family go from here? Where do they go from here? Because now everything that they do is going to be underneath a microscope. Everything that they do is going to be judged, and they're going to be under the same microscope that they put Harry and Meghan under. Everything they did to Harry and Meghan, it's going to come back to them. So yeah, I guess we can start with um, Richard Palmer, who thought that he was being clever. So there was that whole comment that he made about Kate and William. He used the term crackers in the wrong way. Obviously, it's said differently in the UK as it is in the US. It doesn't mean anything derogatory in the UK. And so he then came back and said, "Oh, I didn't realize that it meant something else in the US. You can't say anything anymore." And then I clapped back and said, "You can't say anything. Now you know what it's like to be mega karma dude." And he messaged back, "Who?" And who, Mr. Palmer? Megan, the one who you can't get out of your head because she lives rent free because she pays your bills. She pays your bills that you wish that William and Kate would, but they don't. So that is that. Just one of the kind of what so-called expert, and it's nice to know that they're watching and listening, and we know that they are, and we are now watching and listening everything that they're doing. And did I not say, guys and dolls? Did I not say from last year that the royal reporters and the British tabloid press writers would soon become the story? Did I not say this? And I'm telling you, there is going to be some journalists out there, some very smart American journalist who's going to do a deep dive into the British press and um individuals on the royal rota and in the British tabloid press, because they have now made themselves the story. That's the number one rule of journalism: you don't make yourself a story, and they have, because of the way that they've acted. So Rich Harmer, Danton, just the whole lot of them. And if you've noticed, some of them have just gone so silent recently. Camilla Tominey's gone silent, or they've kind of, they're holding back a little bit. Haven't heard from Sarah Vine in a while, not since her divorce. Marsha, the international press did not whitewash William and Kate's colonialist tour. Everyone could see the writing on the wall. The royal family should actually do things for people than try to make themselves look good. Yeah. And it's not even necessarily about, is it about trying to make themselves look good, or rather just trying to put themselves on such an elevated platform above everyone else. Yeah, Beverly, the men in great suits have really ished on themselves on this tour, and they're so arrogant that I don't even think they know that they're not going to sit down and humble themselves. I don't know what they're gonna do going forward now. I don't know if there is a way to course correct. Um, Edith, the British press have also accepted that the tour was a mess. They're now throwing the blame on the staff. Yeah, they're trying to throw the blame everywhere. In fact, there was this tweet that I saw earlier, a whole bunch of tweets. So the one in the middle from Campaign to Abolish the Monarchy said, media list of people to blame for the failed propaganda tour, inexperienced staff, incompetent foreign office, far left media, reparations activists, Black Lives Matter activists, Meghan, Barbados, Republicans. Not on the list of people to blame. William and Kate, Elizabeth, the concept of monarchy, and delusional royalists. And it's going to be very interesting and very revealing if people do not react to Australia and Canada, because Australia and Canada are going to be next. If they do not react to Australia and Canada wanting to do away with monarchy in the way that they have reacted to Jamaica and and the other Caribbean countries full of black and brown people, the way that some royalists are acting now, it's literally like slave masters who are losing their slaves. And some of the other comments that I loved from today, Kevin Maguire, who said the colonial era royal relic tour from hell in the Caribbean isn't as bad as it gets for a ridiculous Victorian monarchy. On parade next week in London will be Andrew Windsor, financially helped by brother Charles and possibly his mum, to settle a $12 million case. Tick tick. Now, Kevin Maguire, if I remember correctly, he's the one that um, got into it with Piers Morgan on Good Morning Britain, and there's that famous clip of him saying, when people find out what happened behind closed doors, that they're going to change their minds about Harry and Meghan. So he's never been like against or for the Sussexes, but he's been relatively neutral, and it seems like there's stuff that he knows, and for sure people within the press pack know about what's been going on behind the scenes in the palace. And I also love this comment from Fangirl. She said, you know what, for a while I thought Billiam would come out on top with Chuck and their PR games, but Chuck was literally toasting at the destruction of KP and Keen Bill. Bill really thought only Harry would be thrown at the wolves and he would be spared. Well, of course not. He was very, very wrong. Charles, like I said yesterday, is a king in the sense that he knows how to play the chessboard, and he will play Game of Thrones and throw anyone under the bus if it means that he comes out on top. And I loved Shane's comment. He said Diana started dragging the royal family, kicking and screaming into the 20th century. Her eldest son put them firmly back into the 1800s. And that's precisely what's happened. And while all this is going on, Charles is river dancing and meeting with drag queens and drinking away and toasting to what a disaster this whole thing has been. And I didn't really play into the rumors. So drinking like his great grandmother there. We all know she loved her gin. I didn't really want to play into the conspiracies and rumors that maybe Kate and William have been partially set up by the palace and that they knew that this tour was going to be an absolute disaster. But given Charles's just silence and like the way he's just gone about his business, like he does not care, I feel like there is an element, at least, of truth to that. Okay. Valerie, can't wait for Kate and William's Africa tour. Oh, oh, they they should just spare themselves and not bother. Let me tell you, I will call all the aunties and tell them to protest. Vinny, the British media cannot cover up or spin this story because it will only expose their behind more. The world now sees their naked behind. Yeah. I mean, now people are actually starting to come for individual tabloid journalists. and rightly so, because they're all liars. Beverly, Duchess of Success, you're right. Just like Tina and Michelle have said early on, things are coming true, and the world is seeing big time. Bit by bit, they're revealing themselves. Well, Kathy G, I saw the clip of Boris being shunned. Yes, he went to a meeting, and all the world leaders were shunning him. Uh, I mean, not like any of the other world leaders don't have their problems, but the UK have problems and then some. So they were probably all very embarrassed to talk to him. Mm. Benjamin, I wonder if the war in Ukraine and everything going on has somehow a factor in them being looked at with wise eyes. They came off out of touch while people were being blown up. Is it very much has to do with that, with what's going on in Ukraine and what's going on in the United Kingdom right now with the cost of living. And I mean, I think I've said this almost every podcast for like the last 5 or 6 months, that everything is just so out of touch. It's out of touch with what they're doing overseas in the Caribbean. It's out of touch with what they're doing at home. You've got old people that can't even pay their energy bills. And you're scuba diving, and today they were going, boat racing, and it's just, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hmm. It's like they're just flaunting their wealth and their privilege in everyone's faces. Mm. Okay. Yes, I saw that, Marina, the journalist on WION Gravitas, savagely summed up the whole tour. Yeah, she's really been going in at the royal family, and her videos are like mega viral. So good on her. She's amazing. Yes, Lily Bell, God don't like ugly. The very same rodents who were enlisted to destroy and smear the Sussexes, they're the ones who are going to bring down the monarchy. They're all going to bring down each other. Mm. Yes, Benjamin. If Canada or Australia goes, they might as well just hang up. Why bother? There is just no reason for any country, any sovereign country, to have another head of state who doesn't even live there. Um, there's just no point of it anymore, and there's no way that you can justify it. So the British monarchy should just be. It should just be the British monarchy. It shouldn't be a Commonwealth and all of this nonsense. Okay. So that is that. Let me just try and scroll down. Scroll down. Maria, morning to you too. Yes, the whole tour is a comedy show gone wrong. Kathy G. It's hard to coordinate when you don't live in the same house. Allegedly, 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 for the lawyers listening. I mean, honestly, like when all of the stuff that we know that I won't say out loud for the lawyers listening finally comes out in the British press, because I feel like we in the Sussex squad know what's going on behind the scenes in that marriage. But when it finally becomes headlining news in the British press, which it will do eventually, it's already been covered in some international press, but it's still not the big story that it needs to be. But when it becomes a big story, and when the roses finally bloom, that will just be the sucker punch. But we're yet to see how that's going to happen. Joyce, even with the staff, William and Kate would suck. It would be like having a great movie script with bad actors. There's nothing of substance to be found with the Cambridges. They are both empty vessels. Yes, and people have been saying this. Now that you've said that, you'll take us into the next slide, Joyce. People have been saying this for the longest time. These are headlines, you know, throughout the years. Duke and Duchess on their trip to India, but in the main, it's been boring, and that's because they're boring. They couldn't cobble together a personality between them. Tips for women: William and Kate, boring and bland dukes. The tour in New York, a tragedy. The picture of them at the game with the subtitle: Instead, the couple dazzled the US like a pair of damp squibs submerged in a bucket of cringe. And Carol's concerned that Kate's hair and clothing is being used to offer her some personality. Even worse is the clipped posh accent she's recently adopted, presumably to make her sound more royal. Well, all it does is make her sound constipated. I mean, these are things that they've been writing for a long time about other tours. So, it's not like there haven't been issues on tours before. It's just they always had Harry or something to cover it up. Yeah, Marcy now hiring for the Cambridges. Anita Brown and Black to build team. I tell you, I wouldn't be applying. But you can. There's not enough money that you could pay me to join that team. Not enough money that you could pay me. I would breastfeed a crocodile before I ever join Kensington Palace. Arnold, how do you feel about Parliament stripping away your human rights? um, I'm, I knew it was coming, so yeah, I'm annoyed, but I knew it was coming. I'm even more annoyed at friends and family who I've been saying this to for years now was coming and who didn't believe me and thought that I was a crazy nut job. So I guess all I can say is I told you so, but I've seen it coming, and as you all know, I have plans to leave the UK. So yeah, I I don't feel much about it just because I know that I'm leaving. Um, Charlotte, the umbrella episode was just pathetic to watch. They tried it. Yeah, and they took the same photographer as well, but the thing about a talented photographer, he's always going to capture the truth of the moment, and there's nothing that you can fake. So they tried to be Harry and Meghan, and it failed again. I mean, wait, I think I got that photo from yesterday. Yeah, all the photographer is going to do is capture the truth of the moment, and that's what Samir Hussein captured in both of these shots. Yeah, Penn Disney, they need to make housing available by donating all that wealth. We've got a serious housing crisis in the UK, and in Ireland as well, both places. Um, Raven, don't forget Egg was caught at least twice using the white power sign. I've been hearing people say this, but I haven't seen it. I don't actually know what that sign looks like, to be honest, to even be able to look out for it. So, but I've heard people saying that. Um, yes, Marina. What's going on everywhere? People's lives are turned upside down, and they're busy flaunting taxpayers' money. It's truly disgraceful. Well, thank you very much for the super chats, Valerie, Sardina, and Jill Woodcock. Thank you very, very much to both of you. Happy Saturday to you both. Did you see Sunita O'Connor's tweet to Piers Morgan? Yes, I did, and here it is. Where is it now? So Sinead O'Connor um, tweeted Piers Morgan. She actually tweeted an email that she sent to him because he wanted her on his show. And the message read, "Hi Piers, I think it's best I don't do your show because of the irresistible temptation I would have to point out that you're dying to be balls deep in Meghan Markle, so bad it's driven you crazy, and that your dislike of Prince Harry is down to his being balls deep in her 10 times a day. It being the case that if you were ever to get near her, which would never happen, you'd last 10 seconds, and that would and that would be that for 10 days. Sincerely, Sinead O'Connor." What a epic roasting. And I'm so glad that she roasted him publicly like that because um he comes after any woman that says no to him or doesn't want to give access to him, and people have been also roasting Piers Moron over her tweet as well. So I'm so glad that more people are being vocal about the fact that they don't want to be associated with this guy. And I do think even people that would have been desperate to just get any and all PR are maybe being a little bit cautious with Piers Morgan now because he does have a court case pending with Harry. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not he starts throwing up tantrums in the lead up to that court case, or if he's just smart enough to just shut up and sit down. Mm. Joyce, Canada and Australia will be next tour, mark my word. I don't think that. Do you know? I think you're right, Joyce, but that is not going to be a good idea because I'm not going to get into the who's rights and who's wrongs about the current politics in Canada and Australia, but I think we're all to some level aware of what's been going on in Canada and in Australia, and so I think they would be very stupid to want to tour either Canada or Australia because whatever side of the debate that you sit on in regards to what's happening in both Canada and Australia, both sides are pretty heated and I think pretty focused on the issue at hand of what's going on in those countries. So for two British royals to then come into that situation and start flaunting around pretty dresses and military uniforms and I don't know what would they do in Australia? Hugging koalas, patting moose, whatever they're going to do in those countries, it's just going to be so tone deaf. So I think you're right, Joyce. We'll go to Canada or Australia, but it's just going to be the worst thing that they could do because there's a lot of tensions in both of those countries for reasons I think we all kind of know. Ugh. Um, um, Diane, a disastrous tour resulted from all the we saw, but won't and can't didn't dispute being right before their eyes. This goes all the way back to not recognizing Meghan as an asset and ending with Bahamas. Yeah, I mean they've really just effed up. It's like it's like having an all-star team and kicking off your best players. It doesn't make sense. Joanne, I don't see Canada leaving. The Prime Minister recently visited the Queen. Oh well, I think well didn't they come didn't wasn't Justin Trudeau actually here in the UK for a meeting? So it's not like he didn't come just to visit the Queen. I just think he saw her when he was here just out of politeness because he's a head of state. I don't think he came specifically to visit her. Edith, I think that William and Kate don't care again because they themselves have noticed that the tour is a mess. Well, once again, I ask, where are the body language experts? Because there is so much going on in all of these pictures. So you've got the one in the corner, it's cut off by the bottom picture, but William and Kate are actually holding hands, and it's actually the first time I've seen them holding hands on this tour, or in a while, actually. And then you've got the bottom one where Catherine is grinning and grinning and grinning. And I'm sorry that I don't actually have the video of that, but she looks at him and smiles, and he just kind of like looks past her and then looks the other way. Like she's one thing I have to say about Catherine is that she puts on the game face and is trying really, really hard to put on the show, and William isn't. It's like he literally just can't be bothered anymore. And look at his fist in the two middle pictures. It's like he's trying so hard to just like contain himself. Oy. A bunch of selfish insulated bullies. I wish the islands have left sooner. I'm sure the windlass triggered them and the royal aloof Cambridges. Yeah, I do think that all things have a time, and while I think that this is something that these countries have been wanting for a long time, now is like the right time to get the ball rolling. So I saw that there was one of my members who I think has been a member for 4 months. I'm so sorry. I think I missed your name. Um, but I saw that somebody has been a member for 4 months. I'm so sorry that I missed you. Sometimes it doesn't come up on my side. But thank you, whoever that was that's been a member for 4 months. Highly appreciate it. Um, yes, Marina, it's disgraceful that Australia and Canada, you don't need visas to travel, but Caribbean nations need visas. So what benefit are we even getting anymore from this Commonwealth, from this so-called Commonwealth? Mm. And then I'm almost amazed that the UK media, not unlike Putin's Russia, thought they could actually control the global media sources report, not saying anything about social media. It's not 1900s anymore. I think that they feel at this point that as long as they can control the narrative in the UK, nothing else matters. I think they're just trying to hang on to the narrative here now because the rest of the world can very much see it for what it is. Yes, Legance, I think that they should rethink Earthshot as well, but that would require reading the room, which they can't do. And can you imagine all of this is happening while the Queen is still alive? Oh, by the way, that reminds me. The human toad, known as Rob Jobson, was on an Australian news channel today, and he was talking about the Queen using a wheelchair and just using very ableist language, saying that the Queen wouldn't want to be seen in a wheelchair or William's memorial. And I just find it so disgusting that they're talking about the Queen being in a wheelchair as something to be ashamed of. I mean, the Queen's grandson is literally the head of Invictus Games. Invictus Games that honors and gives a platform um, to wounded soldiers and soldiers who have disabilities. And it's just like I the fact that these people can sit there and say things like that with such a straight face. I have no words. She got a tutor to sound like the poshest of the elite society, befriended Rose, and that fell apart miserably. Yeah, in these circles, it doesn't even matter if you're married to the future King of England. Um, if you're a working class person, you're a working class person. They think that you're beneath them. And Rose, she is a natural aristocrat. So as far as she's probably concerned, Catherine should have been taking notes from her. Yeah, Nelly, I think going forward now, they will definitely drag the children into everything, which is just so sad because the children don't need to be dragged into this. Like Dee Dee, they're still in the Bahamas as of today, at least I know of anyway. Don't know when they're going back. Okay, let's try to scroll down. Mm. Libel, Harry must be thanking his lucky star for the day he met Meghan. She got him out of that cesspool and took him with her to California. Cinderella rescued the prince. Harry, you're a lucky man. Yeah. And they've denied Harry security and he won't be going to this Philip memorial. Now, let's not forget that there were over 100,000 complaints about the coverage of Philip's funeral. I don't know what the coverage is going to be like for this memorial, but I know that it's going to be a lot bigger in terms of the number of people coming. Um, I don't know why they're choosing to do this. I don't think it's I don't think it's necessary. They had a funeral, 30 people went. It was mostly the closest family, friends, and members of the family. To me, it just still seems very tone deaf to be having this massive event at this moment in time. So it's going to be interesting what the reaction is going to be like because also Andrew is going to be there. Um, yes, Cheryl, it's always quiet and peaceful in Montecito. Quiet, peaceful, minding our business and getting on with business. Yes, Maria, I'm so happy that Harry gave that engagement ring for Will and Kate. It's a curse ring. Curse ring. We didn't want Meghan to have the curse ring. Harry gave Meghan the freedom ring. Thank you so much, Dara, for the super sticker. Nasha, if Britain lose Canada, Austria, and New Zealand, it will be the end game for the unroyal family in Britain. Yeah. Well, actually, I wouldn't say for Britain, um, but well, there are other reasons away from the royal family that Britain is going to have problems. But if they lose those countries, it will definitely be the end for the royal family. Yes, but there are other issues even bigger than the royals that are plaguing Britain right now. Yeah, Catherine, I agree. The British royals should just stay at home and take care of the British people. But when have they ever done that? This was the time more than ever for them to show that they care in some way, and they've just decided like they're gonna. It's like they're gonna pretend that everything that's going on at home isn't going on. Yes, Annie, they have lost control of the narrative. That's exactly what Harry said. They've lost control of the narrative so much that Richard Palmer is now tweeting me. Benjamin, the Republican movement is much more vibrant in Australia. Well, they actually had a referendum of their own, and the Queen managed to hang on by a hair. So Australia actually had the original Brexit. Yes, Jane Garcia, I wouldn't be surprised if Kate William did visit Canada or Australia since they aren't smart enough to take don't visit us for an answer. They might even do New Zealand. Black Queen. Incandescent with rage because he didn't get his butt kissed the way he wanted it. Uh, um, yeah, I'm not gonna have to be careful with my words here. I feel like all of those headlines about William being incandescent with rage and raging, and I feel like there's something a lot deeper to all of those headlines. I'm not gonna say it live on air. I feel like it's just gonna come out eventually. But I feel like there's something a lot deeper about those headlines and William and his temper, and it's not nice. Um, Benjamin, I wouldn't be surprised if they divorce if the royal family as a monarchy and firm is dissolved. William looks like he's doing a chore. Yeah. It's like at this point they're lying to themselves because it doesn't even look like they're enjoying what they're doing. It's very strange. Um, Rachel Windley, thank you so much for the super sticker. Happy Saturday, Han. Kids aluminium foil dress. Listen, okay, guys, I'm not even gonna lie. I do think that's the nicest dress that she's worn for the whole tour. Like, at least it's not that plantation boho that was going on the other day. Like, it's a slight improvement. Definitely not the worst thing she's worn. Like, I feel like I would wear this. Um, yeah, I feel like someone told them to hold hands as well, Joyce, because they literally have not held hands throughout the entire tour. Yeah, Jeanette, this is not a relationship goal. Kate's situation with William is the story I'm going to tell my daughter if I ever have one. This is what you don't do. And the way Harry courted Meghan is what a man is meant to do. Yes, Marcy, the pandemic opened people's eyes to the ball. This is the age of Aquarius, the age of awakening. The veil has been lifted. Definitely plugged a few people out the matrix. And just I feel like everybody has always had an awareness of the um of 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 the privilege and elitism people like the royal family um like the position that they have, right? But I feel like what the pandemic did was it just made that class divide, the money divide, the um the way in which these people just live in a completely different world from all of us. It just I feel like it just made it more pronounced. And it's like this veil has been lifted and people just are under no illusions anymore. And people are asking the question, why do these group of people who really don't do anything for society, why are they allowed these privileges? Mm. Joyce, why are they pushing this woman, the Queen, to be present at this memorial? It's unbelievable. Why are they even having the memorial at all? I mean, Philip was the Queen's husband. So, I mean, I know that Harry probably would have wanted to go to this memorial, but in a way, I feel like they've done him a favor and not even realized because I think that a lot of people are going to be like, this is tone deaf. Why are we doing this? And if there is any backlash towards Philip's memorial, the same way there was with Philip's funeral, they would have found a way to blame it on Harry. But Hidden Beauty, William is a huge disgrace. Who would have thought he would turn out so abysmally? His wife, Kate, is a disgrace. They didn't even extend their hand out to the black women in Jamaica. Yeah. And Charles would have. Whatever you think about Charles, he knows how to act. Dan, I wonder when the final financial accounting for the Commonwealth Undoing tour will go public. I hope soon. So do I. Pendisi, my dad even left the UK when he was 19. Did he grow up there? Did he move there? Did he study there? I'd be interested to know why he left. And did you grow up there? Please do tell. Hey, Catherine, one of the greatest US presidents was in a wheelchair, Franklin Roosevelt. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being in a wheelchair. Arnold Sanders, how come the Queen never made Philip king? Wouldn't that have meant that he was above her? Because he was married to her. So I don't think he could be king. Lots of people are leaving. The majority of the yeah. I mean, once you become very famous in the UK, you just get attacked by the British press. So everybody just goes over to America. Less stress and more opportunity. Cinderella, once the Queen passes, I doubt Harry will ever go back to visit the UK. Well, he's still close to the Spencer side of his family. He's still got friends and charities that you know he holds very dear to him. So I'm sure he'll want to go back, and I'm sure that he'll want his children to know where they're from. Uh, Legance, why do they need a memorial? Why do they feel that people need to lament Prince Philip, which by all accounts had many faults? Well, they're saying it's because there were only 30 people allowed to his funeral because of the Mr. C restrictions. Um, but we'll see. We'll see what happens next week, especially because Andrew's coming. Freedom. Is that why your dad left the UK? Freedom. Expand. Prince Philip said no fanfare, so why are they doing this? That's a good question. And Margaret, I heard that Harry won the security case, but it's still private. Well, according to the press release that came out the other day, um, all it said was that. Wait, let me go back and read it. All it said was that parts of documents in a case brought by the Duke of Sussex against the Home Office over his police protection in the UK will remain secret. A High Court judge has ruled. So I don't know if we'll actually find out um, in writing what happened in full with the court case, but if we see Harry back in the UK, then we can just assume that he was given that security. Sorry, that he was allowed to pay for his security. Yeah, Susie, they want Harry here so they can have a picture of him next to Andrew, which is why he definitely should not go. And if he does, he should never ever be pictured with Andrew. Never. Because that will be used against him. Thrive with Meghan and Harry. Hello. I'd be pissed if I was the person using a wheelchair in that country, knowing your queen looks down on you. Yeah, it's just awful. Like, if anything, the queen being in a wheelchair, I think would be a good thing for people to see instead of being ableist and talking about it like it's something shameful. I mean, I've even seen now a lot of major clothing retailers, like putting people with wheelchairs in their ads and on their runways and in their windows, or people who have prosthetic limbs or amputees. Trying to be more diversified in advertising and what people see. And it just shows how backward they are that they're talking about the Queen being in a wheelchair, something to be ashamed of. Andrew in the palace should have helped England the day the pandemic started. William and Kate did lots of Zoom calls. Um, I'm assuming they thought that was enough help for England. And also, why can't they Camilla Queen? I just think it's because people would just be too angry because of Diana. I think Queen Consort was the absolute most that they could give her, not Queen. I think that would just send people over the edge. Oh, I said this podcast was going to be short. It's gone on a bit longer, but there's been a lot to talk about. Okay, let's just see what else I wanted to touch upon before we start wrapping things up. Um, let's see. Yeah, there's been this headline going around about Whoopi Goldberg talking about the issue on the View. Of course, anything with Whoopi gets clicks and views, so they definitely had to put her in the headline, even though it was pretty much everyone on the View panel talking about it. But that's gone viral. And also, William made a statement while in the Bahamas, and he said, "Next year, I know you are all looking forward to celebrating 50 years of independence, your golden anniversary, and with Jamaica celebrating 60 years of independence this year, and Belize celebrating 40 years of independence this year, I want to say this. We support with pride and respect your decision about your future. Relationships evolve, friendship endures." So, basically pointing out that the United Kingdom is the biggest provider of Independence Days, and I think this is probably the closest William has come to being somewhat humbled in what he has to say. Um, and what else can he say at this point? I do wonder if the tour hadn't been the disaster that it has been, Would he have said this? I don't know, but that is what he said. Mm. Yes, Terry, it's just a matter of time. They actually did Harry and Meghan a favor, then seal their own fate. It goes around, goes around, goes around, and comes back around again because karma is a boomerang. Mm. No, uniquely me. William has outgrown Kate, and that's part of the problem. Kate should have stayed the college girlfriend and not wife and future queen. Yeah. Mm. But I mean, what did they really want in a wife for William? They wanted someone who could stand behind him, who was happy to stand behind him, and just have his kids. So it's not like they were even looking for anyone with any. It's not like they were looking for a Megan. They weren't looking for a Megan. They were just looking for a mannequin. So yeah, what were they expecting? Because all of the women who dated William, who had some kind of personality or ambition, they all ran away. Joyce, Kate may be trying her best, but it's very, very hard for me to get past what she did to Megan while she was with child by not telling the truth and letting the lie continue. Absolutely. That for me should just never be forgiven. It should never be forgiven. Yeah, they gave Megan hell for her clothing choices. She wore a slit skirt. She had her shoulders showing. I mean, it was just the most ridiculous things that they tore her apart for. Okay, Pen Dizzy, go get your food, girl. Go and get your food. Enjoy. Armor, didn't Camilla say at one time that she was tired of traveling and left the Australia tour early and left Charles there? Oh, didn't know about that. Well, traveler, if everyone leaves the Commonwealth, what's left for them? Just the United Kingdom. That's it, really. Diana, I guess we can all sorry, Diane. I hope we can all understand why Liz refuses to London Bridge on out. Look at the state of her replacements. Yeah, I mean they all know. The royal household, the tabloid press, and I'm sure even Kate and William, they all know what's coming when Betty takes her final rest. Because the Queen is seen as a deity, no wheelchair. Oi. She's human and flesh and blood, red blood, not blue blood like everyone else. F- Francine, what about King Consort? That's a good point, but I don't know why they wouldn't give him King Consort. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how all of these titles work, if I'm honest. Okay, let's scroll down. Oh no, they better not come to New Zealand. We are battling financial strife to be paying for them to play colonist tourists. Yeah, well, it's it's not like they it's not like they cared when it came to the Caribbean countries, so I don't know, we'll see how Jacinda feels about that. You never know, they could turn up. Also, hasn't New Zealand been in like a really strict lockdown for some time and like people haven't even been allowed to come into the country? So that will look really bad if just all of a sudden the royals are just allowed to come in when a lot of people I can assume haven't really seen their friends, family, haven't been allowed to come or go. Mm. Hello, everyone. If you're just joining us, please do thumbs up. But Andreen, until Megan came along, it opened William's eyes that he needed that kind of stamina from a woman. He needs a wife that would boost him. Yeah, in this day and age, but I think that in William's mind, he wanted a traditional kingship. And so therefore he thought that he needed a traditional woman who was not thinking ahead, and Harry was. Diana, it's incredible that no one in any of the palaces anticipated that reparations, independence, racism, etc., might come up this week. Not preparing is ultimate disrespect, like people of color wouldn't notice. Exactly. They just want to carry on like it's the good old days and things haven't changed. Well, they have. Dee Dee, I don't think that William has outgrown Kate. Unfortunately, they're one and the same. That's the problem. The British royal family just never imagined the world would evolve enough to affect them. That is a very good point. Water rises to its own level. Hello, Janet. Thanks for joining us. Marina waited 9 years. Now look at her. Megan didn't even have to wait. Well, there's no way that Harry was waiting. He knew that he had a gem. Wasn't going to let her go. Joyce, Charles' greatest fear is that the media will turn on Camilla again. She was the only thing he really fought for. Uh, well, to be honest, at this point, I don't think that there's anything that the media would turn on Camilla for. So he's played the long game, and so has she. So I think the worry now with Camilla is the younger generation that's coming up and who is going to start to understand what happened during the Diana years, especially with the Crown coming out. I think that's what they should be afraid of, um, not the media. Mhm. I think when it comes to the media, it's really William and Kate that should be more scared of them. Yes, Diane, it's so disrespectful for them to be walking around in diamonds and expensive garb, all paid for by the taxpayer. Mm. Well, Traveller, I love The Crown too. I can't wait for The Crown, the next season. Right. What else did I want to mention? Let's see. Okay, I think that was actually pretty much it, and I've managed to get to the bottom of your comments. So really just to end by saying Um, they wanted one thing on this tour, and they got another. They thought that they were going to save the Commonwealth. It seems like they're just doing the exact opposite. There was one person who had a sign talking about reparations in Jamaica, but oh, sorry, this is in Bahamas. Sorry, not Jamaica. But other than this and the small group of Rastafarians, there hasn't really been much protest in the Bahamas. It's been pretty silent. But nonetheless, definitely on social media, people have let their opinions be known, and I think what we've seen so far is just the tip of the iceberg of what's to come. And so with that, I will finish up with whoever else wants to make a comment, and then we'll call it a day. Oh, I did have okay, now that it's loaded, this one clip from Jamaica, and I think this just shows that William knows, and I'll just play the clip. I mean, you can see it on his face. I think he knows. Oh, thank you so much, Dee Dee. Thank you so much for coming. Happy Saturday to you. Appreciate you all, my lovelies. Mm. And thank you so much for your donations because a lot of the times, more recently, sometimes videos do get demonetized for the first like day or two. Ever since Christopher Booz's report, and it's great because I think on one hand it just shows that YouTube are trying to clamp down on the hater channels, but unfortunately, the pro Sussex channels have also kind of been thrown into the mud as well. So sometimes videos just do get demonetized initially anyway for like no reason until they get checked independently by a mod. So your donations really do help. So thank you. New Zealand were in lockdown, but it's slowly opening up. Hopefully, Jacinda will ring Britain to come collect their insufferable Cambridge kids before then. Oh, I feel so sorry for the Cambridge kids because they're definitely going to get dragged out. Like, oh, here, look at the kiddies. Please do ignore what a disaster the tour was. Okay, so I'm going to give Mandy the last word of the day. Have a great evening, everyone, and happy Mother's Day for all the mums around the world. As we are celebrating it tomorrow, plus our clocks go forward as well. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. Indeed. Happy Mother's Day to everyone if you're celebrating it tomorrow. Oh, thank you so much to, let's see who's thrown in a super sticker at the last minute. Helen Stevens, thank you so much for your super sticker there. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Oh, okay, wait. Okay, before we go, I'm from the Bahamas. What you have to understand is that the island is very small. The government can control everything. They took the protesters away, and they bust people into cheer. Okay, that's very understandable, and thank you, so much, for your comment and letting us know, and giving your perspective. So thank you once again, everybody, and it's Saturday, so let's dance our way out.